So seems some new faces here. What's everyone up to? How's life? Oh, thank you. First week of school, huh? Oh, I'm in the U.S. Well, yeah, I guess. Where are you at? Where it's your first week of school? I was saying, like here in the U.S., this is like midway through summer, so all schools are all out for summer. 1 week of trial. What does that mean? Trial. Philippines. Oh, okay, cool, cool. Hello, Mr. Sock. How are things? Either cooked or cooked? What? Oh no. Sorry to hear that. Last day of school. Oh man, everyone's starting school, stopping school, lots going on. One time I asked you to add higher frame rate to the game thing. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that was a request for a long time, is getting that higher frame rate in there. It's still not perfect. I'd like to probably, there's some improvements that could be made, but at least it's there. Like one thing is you have to specify the frame rate manually, so like you have to know what your monitor is running. It'd be nice if could like auto detect that, or there's also lots of like the fancy G-Sync and all that stuff too. It could somehow take advantage of. But yeah, if anyone is not aware, if I can type here, make CMake. Yeah, if anyone's not aware, the game will run 60 frames per second by default, but on the PC version, if you want it to run faster, come in here, just set max FPS to this. Turning on the FPS counter can be handy. VSync is usually good to keep on, but you can experiment with that off. What I wouldn't do is don't turn VSync off, or never, and then set like a bajillion max FPS. I think if you do like -1 max FPS, it just runs as fast as it can. So if you really want to like heat up your room with your video card, you can try that. But in general, there's no real reason to have the game render any faster than your monitor can display. So especially if you're on your laptop, that'll just like burn through your battery and it won't really do anything good. So anyway, yeah, max FPS is there. Burp, burp. Oh, can people hear? There's always like a few people that say they can't hear, so it's good to be sure that somebody can hear. If you remove epic mode, I will not be removing epic mode. Don't worry. Epic mode is it's always been. I know there's some people that are have strong opinions about it, for or negative or whatever, but I've had enough fun experiences with epic mode. Like it's not going anywhere. Remove the last stand. What? I don't plan on removing anything. Like my general goal is to like add stuff, but in general, my goal with all the existing stuff is that mostly kind of classic Bomb Squad should stay there, pretty much untouched. So as newer things are coming around, like squads mode and stuff like that, that should just be like a completely different thing on the side. So you can play classic mode where you like join online servers and play all the levels, including the last stand in epic mode, stuff like that. Or you can flip over to squads mode, and then that'll just be a bit more of a different experience. So, but yeah, I want to keep classic stuff around. More epic players than non-epic. It is. I've been mentioning this in recent talks that it is interesting to me that I feel like it's kind of like a different game in a way. It's more, especially when you're playing online, because it kind of takes lag out of the equation. It's more like strategic and less actiony, in a way. Uh-oh, I'm seeing stack traces. What? Burp, 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 burp. Burp, 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 burp. Dumps. Is this the locale thing? Oh yes, object of type locale is not JSON serializable. So, Rabbit Boom, did you mention that before, or was that someone else? I know that particular bug has been, or issue has been noted before. You did? Okay. So what we need to do there to figure that out is like I've not run into this myself, and I haven't heard reports from anyone else. Um, so account client v1 is running commit. Account client v1 is running commit config, which basically says like take this config dictionary and write it out to the disk. And it's failing because there's a locale object in there, and locale objects can't be translated into JSON. So the problem is like, what is putting that locale object in there? So do you have any mods installed or anything? Or there's got to be something that is like writing a locale into that dictionary. So I don't know how we track that down. Because the normal, like, by default, the game shouldn't be doing that. Otherwise, I'd be getting millions of bug reports. So maybe there's some weird corner case where if something goes wrong, somehow it writes a locale there. But anyway, that's what we'd have to track down. Is like there should be a locale in the config somewhere. And by config, I mean if you want to come into the game, you can muck around. If you do like import BA base, and that config is BA base .app.config. And so see if I just type that, it's just going to print this really ugly chunk of text. And so this is a giant dictionary with all the values in it that get saved to the config file. And so somewhere, if you like look through this value, you'll find that locale somewhere. That might be a tip. If we can figure out like where that locale is in your config dictionary, and figure out like what is putting it there. So anyway, yeah, I hope that helps. Let me know if you can't find it. How long do you think it'll take for 1.8? It is, well, my old rule for myself is never give time estimates. I know it's always been like a few weeks out for the past few months. There's just like all these side quests that I keep adding, so I'm trying to get side quests under control and stop adding more side quests. So I spent this last week, speaking of side quests, this last week was kind of polish week for me. I feel like every now and then I just have to like stop and polish things and fix bugs. So I've been just fixing bugs for like this last week. The Mickey Rog, congrats. our sponsor for today. But yeah, I'm just about done with this bug fix pass that I've been doing. So I literally just uploaded new builds 52 minutes ago, if you want to check them out. 1744. I don't know if it's maybe not quite 1744 final, but it's really close if not. And 1744, if you come in here, there's quite a bit of stuff in here. It's mostly like I said, like fixing bugs, polishing things. I made some changes last week in terms of, if you were paying attention, like how the game creates like PYC files and like caches, like Python caches and stuff like that. It used to be something where if you're modding the game, you had to go in and find these PYC files and like blow them away before you could edit the PY files. But that isn't a thing anymore. The game will now like make its own PYC files, and so it doesn't use like hard-coded ones that always get used if they're there. But anyway, what that means is you don't have to worry about PYC files anymore. You don't have to blow them away or anything. But it means the game has more work to do now because it's like managing that stuff. And so that's been kind of causing some, not problems, but I've had to iterate on that a bit and just try to make the game behave with that system. Because basically the first time you launch the game, in the background it's going through and it's like converting all your PY files into PYC files in its cache directory and stuff like that. And one thing I've learned is that actually seems to slow down some phones substantially. So I've been trying to make that a little smarter. I've been getting a lot of, when you, on like Google Play, when you're writing these things, you get like reports of like crash reports, and then you get what's called ANR reports, which is app not responding, which means if your app is doing something like processor intensive and it's preventing like users from using it for like 5 seconds or more, you'll get an ANR report. So after I did like my PYC thing, I started getting like a spike in ANR reports. So it turns out that like really, slower Android phones, it really kind of brings them to their knees a little bit trying to write all these PYC files out. It still works. It's just I've had to be a little smarter with it, have it like wait a few seconds until the other parts of startup are done, and then it'll start doing the PYC stuff. So anyway, not to go into boring, dry technical details, but so yeah, it's like a nice improvement with the PYC things, but it's also taken a bit of time to get that kind of under control and polished up and all that. I've also been adding all sorts of new stuff for garbage collection. If any of you are coders, what garbage collection is if you have a bunch of objects, like normally in Python, if you create an object like an actor or something like that, and then you delete the reference to that actor will like go away immediately. It'll deallocate immediately. But if you have like a few different actors and they're all like referencing each other, and then you delete all the references to those actors, there's still like, there's a cycle, because like this actor is referencing this actor and this actor is referencing this actor. So their reference counts never hit 0, so none of them go away. And then there's this what's called garbage collection that goes through and it tries to like detect those things and clean them up. The problem is that garbage collection is a little bit expensive. And so if we just let Python run its normal garbage collection, it's going to have like little momentary pauses probably, and you're going to get like frame stutters and things like that. So the game always turns off garbage collection, but that means the game needs to be careful about like avoiding those sort of loops. And it also needs to like occasionally, like when the screen is faded out, it runs garbage collection to like clean up that stuff. So anyway, I've been like tuning all of that this week too, like getting garbage collection working better, adding some stuff so that it tells us when stuff has reference loops. So it'll tell you like, oh, hey, look, I cleaned up these 3 things that were all referencing each other. So, you know, try to avoid that in the future or whatever. So it's interesting stuff. If you're doing a lot of scripting and interested in, you know, reference counting and reference loops and garbage collection, take a look through some of the docs for this release. There's also, I wrote a decent amount on the actual engine docs. So if you come to docs, latest version, this stuff is all on like BA base. If you go to, let's see, babase.app, it's babase.app.gc, so garbage collection subsystem. So there's a bunch of stuff you can read in here about like how garbage collection works and how to use this subsystem. By default, basically, it should just run in the background and tell you if you need to like fix problems. If there's a problem that comes up, like there's a bunch of stuff getting garbage collected. So if you see weird little cryptic messages about that, that's what that's about. But anyway, so yeah, this is something I've been working on this week is garbage collection. Hooray! So anyway, okay, enough boring tech stuff. I'll answer questions here. Explain this. My dad owns Bomb Squad. I have a son. Is Rog the Mickey my son? Oh my goodness, this is big news. Or daughter, could be. I'm not sure. It's funny when these stories come up. Like people, this isn't the first time like people have claimed things. I know someone was claiming to have like invented Mel at some point. They had like a backstory for Mel or something, which is not true. Rog the Mickey, I hate to say, does not actually own Bomb Squad or his dad or her dad. Like I said, unless they're a child of mine and I've just not been informed. But always entertaining though. A bug which rarely happens for many players. Ping goes like 500 milliseconds for 2 seconds, then they get disconnected. Huh. Interesting. I'm wondering if that is just like normal network stuff as opposed to a bug. But what would be a bug is like we don't want to disconnect people in those cases. So do you ever have the case where the ping goes crazy for a few seconds, then it comes back, or is it just like gets stuck permanently? Because if it's like network hiccups, I would expect, you get a crazy ping for a second or two, but then it should catch up to itself. What the game does though, like if it hasn't heard from the server in a number of seconds, it will disconnect you because it just assumes that you've lost your connection. But maybe that length of time is not long enough. Maybe we should turn that up more. One thing on a side note that reminds me is that what I mentioned this last week, I think, is for squads mode. What I would really love to do once squads mode servers are running is that even if you get totally disconnected from the game and then you come back, it should let you like reconnect to the game if you launch the game again and be like, hey, you were in this squad do you want to rejoin? You know, like it'd be great to just have the option to just jump back into what you were doing. So like your squad character wouldn't actually like leave the game in that case. He would just be like standing around doing nothing until you come back, or until that like particular round is over or something. Or maybe there's like a timeout, like if you're not back within 2 minutes or something. But anyway, I would love to fix that to where like even if you do get fully disconnected, there's like a higher level layer that lets you like reconnect. That would be good. Random question. How can I host server completely free? AWS has free tiers. You can probably run an AWS server, at least like a low end one or like a small server. You should be able to do that for free. It's probably decently easy to go over the threshold though of like how much bandwidth you use. So you got to be a little careful there. I mean, you can also host servers on your machine at home or whatever if you have a decent internet connection. It's pretty standard stuff. You just have to set up like port forwarding. The game should tell you what to do. Set it up so people can connect into your router on a certain port, and it'll forward that to your whatever you're hosting with. What is squads mode? So for those who haven't been here, squads mode is going to be the big feature in 1.9. Not to get ahead of myself, but if you check the roadmap, 1.9 is all about squads mode. Squads mode is going to be just it's basically an online-centric way of playing. It's more just like how games like hi roadmap Siegel. It's more like how games like Fortnite and stuff work, where you jump in the game, you invite a few people to your group, and then you hit like a play button to get matched against other groups, things like that. So that's what squads mode is going to be. It's going to be basically like online first play. So classic mode will stick around. There'll still be the game as we know it, but then squads mode will be like a different, a more online-centric, competitive, multiplayer sort of way. That's the big plan for 1.9 is to get all that stuff going. And then 2.0, there's really not too many features that will be added for 2.0. 2.0 is just going to be like switching to squads mode by default, most likely, and then also finally launching officially on PC and iOS and whatnot. So yeah, that's what squads mode is. It's just kind of like future multiplayer stuff. Old versions of the maps look like this. That's the current version of the map. These are just the textures. So, this is just basically a photo of the version of the map that I built on my kitchen counter at the time. I'm trying to think like which apartment was this? I can tell by the kitchen counter. That was 2 apartments ago. Okay. And then this was a slightly photoshopped little clay thing I did, mirrored. But yeah, these are like the current textures are still these. It's just they're mapped onto models. So it might look a little, and then I believe that's still the current texture too. There's like a blue tint on that map. So yep, there they are. Yeah, tiptoplevelcolor.dds. So yeah, it probably just looks a little bit different because you're seeing the original photo and not the 3D model based on the photo. Where do I store old clay models? I have some. I do. It is a bummer. I'm streaming from the corner of my bedroom here, just because it has a nice view, and I work in here a lot. I like the city view. But my shelf that I used to have in my old apartment, if you remember, there was a shelf behind me. That is in the office, which is across the way. I still need to like somehow show you the rest of my apartment at some point. I promise to do that. But anyway, I keep all my old clay stuff on that shelf, usually. I don't actually have a lot of it. I only have a few things. I kind of wish I had kept all of it. It's just when I was making the game, I didn't have much clay. So I'd like make a character and make some photos and then smash it up and make the next character. So most of the original cast has been long since smashed up, sadly. Yay, Betty! Betty is still coming soon. I'm very slow, but getting there. Betty is still on my desktop there. If you see, if I move Discord out of the way. Whoa. How to beat Uber runaround? Very carefully. I don't know. Just practice. I used to. I feel like I can still beat Uber runaround decently, easily. I got pretty good at the single player stuff when I was writing the original campaign. So I feel like it kind of stuck. Does the Spaz Sound voice lines have old thingy before the Bomb Squad release? Can you elaborate? Old thingy. Do you think it's a problem restarting router? Oh, that I don't know. I mean, there's a bajillion routers out there. A lot of times, yeah, like if you switch port forwarding on your router, a lot of times it'll ask you like, oh, please restart for settings to take effect. But it should tell you that. Yeah, but depending, there's always a chance your internet service provider, maybe they don't even allow you to, or maybe they like block incoming traffic or something. It's hard to say. It's kind of a crapshoot whether you can host or not on a normal internet connection. So yeah, sorry, I can't be more help there, but hopefully ChatGPT could or something. Oh, well, hello, Alfonso. What a lovely fish. Very nice shade of yellow. I would love to put Alfonso in the game, except I'm not sure if, because all the characters have to be roughly, spaz shaped or kind of like the standard character. Not sure if Alfonso would quite fit. I mean, I'm sure we could make it work. I don't know. The closest thing we have to a non-humanoid character would be, Pascal the Penguin. He's got like fins instead of arms, but it sort of works. So maybe we could make a fish work. I feel like that would just take some like pro level artistry, is like making something fish shaped that still sort of like fit the human shape. But yeah, in terms of another nice thing on squads mode is it should kind of mostly reduce the need to host games. It should just make it really easy to play with friends, and even with mods and things, play online with friends. There's still like one big, I mean, there's several technical hurdles before that's working, and I don't want to get ahead of myself because I'm still in 1.8. But yeah, like one big thing I need to write is a sandboxing system for my servers so that like I can run arbitrary mods on those servers without putting my servers in danger. So just like a little Python sandbox where you can like submit your own Python mods and things, and then the game will run them, but it won't be able to like delete all the other servers that are running on that instance and stuff like that. So that's something I need to get in place. Add a story mode. Yes, this is another, we've talked about this a lot. I would love to have story modes. I would love to support people making story modes more so. My view of the game is that like it's like a set of actors. I've read that Nintendo, apologies for people who've heard this random talk before, but I've heard, I was reading that like Nintendo views their characters as like actors, so it's almost like this cast of people like Brad Pitt or just like familiar faces that can be put into all these different situations. It's not like there's like a single storyline for all the characters. So I sort of view Bomb Squad like that, where it's like there's not a single canonical story behind the characters, but it's meant to be like a blank slate where we could come up with little mini stories that would be fun. So, and as you mentioned, some people have done that. So. Like Sock. Battle Royale, that would be fun too. Talking about squads mode, I'm really wanting to make squads mode open-ended so that people can like mod their own, I need a name for them. I'm just calling them leagues in my head right now, even though we already have something called leagues. But something like a Battle Royale, that could be like an example of a league that someone could write. Something where people could join this league online, and then it would place you into a queue with, bajillion other people, and then like match you off into games, and it would just be like a slowly whittle you down until like the last two are standing or whatever. It wouldn't be like one giant landscape with tons of people, but it'd be more just like a tournament with small one-off games, and then you just get smaller and smaller until you have like the grand championship of the last two people left or whatever. Like that'd be super cool, I think. Ask me a question. Who's your daddy and what does he do? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what kind of question to ask. Where in the world are you at? Oh my gosh, that name is hard to say. Memenaboost. I almost want to say like menopause. We need cars in Bomb Squad. I don't know if there's enough room on the screen for cars. Maybe in like a very limited way or something. I feel like if the camera was zoomed out enough that a car would be effective, that would just be... I feel like it would be just hard to play. Maybe not. If like everyone had a car, then that works. Then you could have like a real wide view of the screen. You know, it turns in, then it's just like a racing game or something. Maybe a little like tiny tank or something. Like you get in a little tank and like putt around and it has a big cannon. Like that'd be cool. If it's not like too big and just really slow and awkward. Game is lost media. Oh yes, it is actually. Sadly, Google Play Bomb Squad VR is no longer a thing at the moment. And yeah, the reason for that is because Google discontinued their VR system. Maybe it will come back. I know they're working on AR stuff, so hopefully. I mean, I don't think we've seen the last of VR Bomb Squad in general, or VR or AR. You know, Bomb Squad in 3D in the real world, whatever. But yeah, the Google Play VR version is no more, sadly. I tried to keep it working. Like it was actually impossible to update like their VR libraries and stuff because they stopped developing them. So I kind of like kept old versions of them around, and I'm actually technically can still build the game with those versions, but then it seems to just like mess. It doesn't seem to work. It seems like there's some sort of malfunctioning happening in their VR stuff, or maybe it's my stuff, but it used to work. So sadly, I can't really keep that version updated anymore because it's using stuff that's old and unsupported and broken. And technically, actually, on that news, there's the Oculus Rift version of Bomb Squad, which is super old, but it was still technically up. Technically, it's not up though, as of 2 days ago. So. There's some like technical detail. I need to like update my privacy policy or something like that in order for it to like remain on the store, and I just haven't gotten around to it. And it gets like one download every month, so I just or something like that, because basically anyone doing VR is doing like Quest or you know, the more like mobile centric VR these days. Like the Oculus Rift is, I mean, they don't even like sell a version of the Rift anymore. Everything is just like Quest and stuff. So it's like there was technically that old VR version on that old store that, you know, got one download every you know, month or something, but it is no longer there as of 2 days ago. Maybe I can update the privacy policy or even update the build and get it back on there, but for like such a small market, I don't know if it's, or you know, like a small little thing, I'm not sure if it's worth it. It would still be fun to just polish the thing up and release it on Quest or you know, whatever, one of those, you know, more widely available VR systems, but that's yet another side quest I am trying to avoid getting sucked into. Did I watch Terminator 2 on Friday the 13th? I mean, I have watched Terminator 2. What's the association with Friday the 13th? Oh, or I read that on. I was like, that's a very particular date for for watching Terminator 2. So I have seen Terminator 2 a million times. I don't know if I've seen Friday the 13th. I've probably seen bits of it, but I don't remember. Why do you ask, though? Yeah, Terminator 2, like one of my favorite movies. Love it. I'm one of those people that I kind of slightly ignore all the Terminator movies after the second one. I feel like those are the ones that matter. James Cameron did those. They're good. It's a complete story. There's no more. How much did it cost to make Bomb Squad? Lots of time. It just that comes down to how much do I value my time. So I don't know. I haven't like put it to a number. Yeah, good question. It would be interesting to if I somehow did know exactly how much time I've spent coding Bomb Squad and like I calculated what is an hourly salary that I would pay myself. Like I do wonder what that number would be. it's made a decent amount of money over the years though, so hopefully it's come out ahead. Well, yeah, hard to say. Mer? What about adding voice chat to Bomb Squad? So this is an interesting topic. I mean, this has come up many times before. What I've always said before is that I'd be interested in voice chat, but the issue is I'm not sure like what system to add that would cover all platforms or as many as possible. And what is looking interesting actually is potentially like Discord integration. So there's for anyone keeping track. We've been slowly but surely wiring up Discord integration to the actual engine. So I think it's in the release notes. It's not actually like enabled by default, but this first version of it, once it is enabled by default, it'll just be showing, basic, you'll be able to like link your Discord or sign in with your Discord account and probably like link your Discord account easily to your existing account if you want or whatever. So details forthcoming, but to start with, that will probably just, it'll just show the like, you can display yourself as being in Bomb Squad within Discord, things like that. But some other stuff that they are supporting with this new SDK, or I don't know if it's like supported yet or upcoming, is like integrated voice chat, things like that. So I thought it could be cool if it works out to just kind of take advantage of Discord's voice chat stuff like within the game for people that wanted it. Because it does seem like that's going to potentially support any platform we would care about, or most any platform we would care about, like Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, consoles. Linux might unfortunately be left out, but maybe later, who knows. Though most of these days, Linux can run the Windows versions of games pretty well, so technically they might be covered. But anyway, so yeah, that's a potential not too far off thing, is maybe we'd be able to get voice chat. That would probably be probably integrated with the squad system in 1.9. So I would want to make that like, I don't know, we'd have to see how it works, but I feel like maybe making it an opt-in option for like if you want to just voice chat with your squad, that seems reasonable, like for playing with friends and stuff. I personally am, like, I've never done games where you just hop in and voice chat is like on by default for everybody. Like I usually don't really want to talk to random people, or, because if I'm playing a game, also I'm old and stuff. I don't want to like be playing a game and realize like hear a bunch of little kids or something like that too. So I kind of feel like if I add voice chat, it would be for communicating with my party. But maybe having an option for just like public voice chat could work too. I don't know. What are all your thoughts on voice chat? Do you guys use voice chat when you play games, or? I mean, I've totally used it for competitive situations or just playing with friends and stuff. Like, it's great to just chat and play games. So if I can make it easier to do that, hooray! And like I said, the Discord stuff does seem nice because it does seem like that's one system that would cover most all platforms. I didn't want to like integrate, like Google specific libraries for voice chat or Apple specific ones, or even like Steam or whatever, whoever else provides like voice chat. Because the downside there is that it would only work on that particular version of the game. So that's a big requirement for me, is like if I'm adding voice chat, I would really like it to work like across the spectrum, I guess I should probably give it a chance too. I know I say I never turn it on in games or never play games with voice chat on, but there could be some situations where, maybe meet new people, or maybe it would be interesting. Maybe that's just like social anxiety. Yeah, that's a good idea, Waba, again. And I do plan to kind of do that, I think. One of my current side quests, as you know, I have many side quests right now, is revamping the server list. So the server list will be, if for those of you who know, I have like an old master server that has all the old account data and stuff. It's called my V1 master server, and then I have my newer one, which is it's a few years old at this point, but it's much cleaner and I can update it a lot easier. And so I'm slowly trying to move everything from the V1 to the V2. So the server list right now is running on the old V1 server, and I want to make a version that's running on the V2 server, and I can just have it be a lot nicer. There's a lot of like improvements that I think could be made to the server list, and one of those is having kind of a region. So by default, it'll figure out like which region you're in, and it'll only show servers from that region. That should make it refresh a lot faster. Right now, it does a little bit of stuff like that, but it's still basically you're getting the entire list of servers like for the entire planet. So it's not the most efficient. So yeah, I think that would be great is by default kind of having people have regions. So, you know, if you hop in the game, it'll show you the servers for, you know, South America or whatever, you know, and then ideally, I mean, not ideally, I really want to have this there. You could pick a different region, you know, if you want to play with a friend in Europe or whatever, or vice versa. You just flip your region, then it'll show you all those servers. So in general, I think, yeah, squads mode or anything else, that'd probably be good to do. It'd be interesting to come up with a list of regions. I'd wonder if we'd want to like do regions based on like geography or language or some combination, you know? That's a good question. Plans with community mod situation. So that's a good question too. So far I've been basically leaving it up to the community to do like community mod managers. And that seems okay. I don't know. Have any of you guys like what has your experience been, if any of you are modders, with like finding mods or learning how to get mods? Has it been hard? Like you making your way to say like this Discord server and asking people, like does that seem like something that would be way easier if the game just had like a list of mods? Because I mostly have been leaving that to the community so far, or there's always an option, like, you know, the game could give you a few options of like, hey, here's a mod manager, download this. Like press the button to get this mod manager. We add more abilities, powers, I don't know. This kind of goes back to, this is another thing that comes up a lot. It's kind of the same answer as like having a single player story or a backstory or whatever, is that I'm trying to have everything be kind of a blank slate and not have everything have built-in powers or differences. And then my hope is that people can make mini games or campaigns or whatever that maybe where the characters do have different powers, you know, or something like that, or like an RPG mode where, yeah, you can like specialize your character and upgrade attributes or something. Like that'd be fun. But by default, I kind of like having it just be like vanilla, everything is the same. Because that would also, you know, if there were differences that were always there, that would also factor into like mini games and things. You know, if you made like a race game, some character that has, you know, crappy armor but is really fast is like always going to win the race. You know, so it makes it a little bit harder to, you know, make mini games that are fair. You know, it would just become like which particular player is going to be the best for this game. And maybe, you know, that could be fun in a way, but that's just extra balancing to think about. So if someone wanted, that's kind of what I'm thinking with like leagues again, like for squads mode. If you come up with a league and you want to have that league be based around the idea that, you know, you pick characters with different powers and then you play different mini games with those characters, like that could be cool. I just don't want that to be like how the game always works. You know, I'd like to have like the blank canvas that you can build that on top of. So I hope that answers that. Nice to have mods displayed through Bomb Squad. So yeah, I mean, in general, I really want to embrace mods and support. I mean, I feel like most of my time is spent on working on, you know, things like workspaces and all this goofy stuff, which is designed just to be able to support modders and kind of community stuff. So I really want to like embrace that. If that means if the best way to do that is, yeah, like providing a list in the game or like a built-in mod manager or whatever, like maybe that's the right thing to do. There's like once things migrate more to squads mode and more to like online play, it might even be like might even be part of like the web UI or something where it's like I want to define my own league or define my own playlist of games, and then you like pick mods for each of them or something, and maybe submit mods to the global database that way or something like that. Or just use a workspace to like cobble together whatever mods you want. Yeah, it'll be fun to see how that evolves, but basically, yeah, I want to make mods as easy to share and distribute or whatever as possible, while also making them safe. Like having some sort of like community review or just something where people aren't like throwing sleazy mods out there that are just like trying to hijack your account or something. So it'd be good to have it be like moderated, or if you're seeing a list of mods, that should be like mods that people genuinely think are good. So, rare. And yeah, people have asked about Steam Workshop, like if that would, like I'd totally be happy to support Steam Workshop or systems like that for building and sharing mods. My one, not concern, but my one hope is that that sort of thing would work on all platforms. So it's like with voice chat, where I don't want to like totally embrace a system that's only going to be for PC players or Steam players, So yeah, maybe if Steam Workshop could work, with alongside something that would work for all platforms, or maybe somehow Steam Workshop could work for all platforms. I don't know. Like that'd be super cool. I know it's better to use existing systems when possible. I know I'm very much like a reinvent the wheel kind of person, or a do-it-yourself person, but sometimes it's good to use existing stuff. Will Bounce Squad come on Xbox, PSP, and other gaming consoles? This is, I would love that, but I'm definitely punting on that one. That one is post 2.0, so I can't really make any predictions there. Sorry, I'm slow. 2.0 will get done here at some point, and then maybe more platforms could be a thing. Will Bomb Squad be free on Steam? Most likely. This is kind of a question where like there's two options. So now that there's the token system and gold pass system, part of the reason for doing that is that if I wanted to, I could have a version of the game that is just pay up front. Like you just basically you're buying a gold pass, except that's the game. But then there's no tokens or no in-game purchases or anything like that. You just like you have infinite tokens basically. So I could make the version on Steam be like that, where it's just an upfront, pay to play game, a premium, whatever they're calling these days. But I would probably opt to make it free to play unless there's like a social stigma attached to that. Just because I find the benefit of having the game be free to play is nice, of just getting a ton of players, even if very few of them actually pay for it. I think it's great just to kind of spread the game more. So that's why I'd probably opt for that being free. I think some platforms, like maybe if on consoles or something like that, where it just wouldn't be worth dealing with in-app purchases there and stuff, then maybe I'll make that version just pay up front. Or maybe like VR or AR versions where it's a little bit more like a special thing. Like maybe that would just be a pay up front, like buy a gold pass, get the game kind of thing. We need lightweight, what? Lightweight? Oh, are you talking about like physics lightweight? Because they should all be, I mean, there's very, very, very minute physical differences between the characters, but there's nothing intentional, like some are light, some are heavy or whatever. So it could be a psychological thing, or maybe a very, very slight physical differences, but I don't think they should add up to any substantial gameplay differences. Like the characters, really the only difference is like their rigid bodies are spaced a little bit differently, but they're all like the same weight and everything like that. It's funny though how some people This has happened a lot where people just think that like Kronk has a stronger punch and stuff just because he looks strong. So there's like psychological stuff that happens. Oh, you found Bomb Squad through oh yeah, there was for a long time Bomb Squad was a there was a demo version of Bomb Squad on Samsung phones. I don't know if I checked a store a few months ago and there was Samsung phones there and it sadly did not have Bomb Squad on it, so I don't know if I kind of don't think it's a thing anymore, but for a number of years, yeah, it was there was a demo version of Bomb Squad on Samsung phones, which was super cool. Um, yeah, I checked like 3 years ago and it was still there, so it was there for a while. Oh, it's super cool. I like the line style. Yeah, very spazzy. Good job. I salute you all like drawing these awesome like renditions of spaz. Also cool, different art style, but also fun. But yeah, salute to you guys, doing drawings and everything like that. I went to art school, so I mean, I used to love to draw. I feel like I don't draw enough anymore. I also love coding though, so it's like that's where most of my time gets sucked into. But I feel like for me it would be a little depressing, like drawing now or something with all the AI and all that stuff. It seems a little like, man, demoralizing in a way or something. So yeah, so keep it up anyway. Cool. Did iPhone support come pre 2.0? I definitely feel like supporting iPhone is a big deal when it comes to the player account. Um, yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I don't know for sure if it'll make a big splash when it happens, but I think it has a chance to. And I mean, honestly, what my design for 2.0 was like, what is the minimum amount of stuff I would like to get in there before I, release it to a new group of players. I mean, technically, like I wouldn't want to launch it like right now because it's still, honestly, the servers are still not paying for themselves. Like I think it's in a good place to make them pay for themselves at some point once I start to get new characters and things like that in there and like the season pro packs and things like that. I think the game will be in the green then, but right now, like the last few years, I've been spinning up tons of servers. So if I'm sure you've all seen my map a bajillion times, but yeah, here's my worldwide server map. So yeah, all the pink purple dots, those are servers. The green dots are places where people are playing. Um, and these green dots in the middle of the ocean, we assume those are submarines. There's a few submarines out and about now. Okay. But anyway, yeah, like spinning up all these servers and running servers all over the place, it's definitely been pricey. Totally worth it though, but yeah, pricey. So I've been trying to revamp the game so that it makes enough to support running all those servers, and once squads mode happens, likely a whole lot more servers. So that's yeah. So what I'm saying is I wouldn't want to launch on iOS right now because if the game is in break even mode or close to break even, like what is 10 times 1? It's still 1, right? So just for money purposes or whatever, which is part of things, it's like I definitely want to get the game to a point where it's clearly in the green and making money, and before I dump a ton more players into it or whatever. Also for support costs, I mean that's a thing too. Is like I do feel bad for iOS people, and I am actually an iOS person. So I mean I own more Android devices than I do iOS devices, but my normal phone is an iPhone. So I do feel bad for iOS people who can't play, but at the same point, like it does keep my support costs down. Like dealing with basically one version of the game I'm iterating on. Like the Google Play version is basically the one important version right now. Like that keeps things a little bit simple for me. So like there's upsides to that. But yeah, I'm sorry to make iOS people wait this long. So anyway, I should just rush along 2.0 if anything. Like I feel like I wouldn't want to release iOS earlier than 2.0, but I could get to 2.0 faster. Like if I wanted to, probably like cut some corners. I just suck at cutting corners. Adding voice chat. Oh, are you a new arrival? We just discussed this. Long story short, yeah, voice chat would be great. Hopefully we'll be making that an option before too long. We are working on, there's Discord integration is coming along, and that should offer theoretically voice chat options. So I'm thinking as part of 1.9, we might have voice chat options for like communicating with your squad. So invite a few people to your squad, and then theoretically you can all just chat if you want. So yeah, I'm not confirming this or promising this. This is just like something that it looks like it might be possible. But again, I'm going to do my very best to prevent myself from working on that until 1.9. So I need to finish up all these side quests and get 1.8 finally out the door. I know there was, I forgot what version it was. Let's go downloads, changelog. There was that one build, 1.7, which build was it? Oh, this one, yeah. It wound up being like a side quest that just went on forever. 1737, yeah. I think I started that one. Oh yeah, that was like the major UI revamp and stuff like that, which is a lot of stuff that would have needed to happen as part of, I think, 1.9 anyway. So it's kind of good. I just went ahead and got it done in 1.7. But if you check out like how much went into that build, like that was a huge side quest. So yeah, 1.7 has been way longer than the average point releases. It's been a few years now, I think. Will there be new maps? That is the plan for 1.8. So for anyone who doesn't know, 1.8 is all about downloadable assets, which means the game can get new characters or new maps or whatever without having to, I don't have to update everybody's game. And so once everyone gets 1.8, then I do plan to start rolling out some new maps and things like that, because at that point, it'll be a whole lot simpler to do it. Right now, it's a big pain in the butt. If I want to make a new map, I have to basically, put out a new update and then like break compatibility, or if a server is hosting that new map and an older version joins it, it'll just crash, or I need to prevent it from joining that server. So it's kind of a pain in the butt right now to add new stuff. So 1.8 is all about making it not a pain in the butt to add new stuff. I like it's very like simplistic, but very evocative of the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back type thing with the box and stuff. Super cool, love it. Would you make new maps using Maya or other 3D software, or will you use real materials like you did originally? I really like to use the real materials. I feel, at least for now, I'm going to stick with that. I feel like it's such an important part of how the game looks, that you can kind of tell that it was made using some crusty building blocks and and clay on a countertop. So I'd like to keep that look going. I know it's a bit tedious to make things that way, because you have to like build it in real life and then photograph it and then 3D model it and then map the photos onto the model, and it takes a while to get things lined up. So it's sort of like, I feel like it kind of limits spontaneity a little bit, but I like that look so much, so I really want to keep that. I could look into options, just like using fancy shaders and like baking shaders using Maya or Blender or something and try to make it look like clay, but I feel like that never works as well. I feel like once you step away from like actually using like photographs, it's kind of something different. So I do want to keep using photographs and things. It'd be cool to have maybe there's like photogrammetry tools that we can find that'll make it easier to do things like that. Like that stuff is always getting easier. So maybe it won't always be as tedious as it was like when I first did that stuff. Need big maps. A lot of players play a game. 14 plus in teams. Oh my goodness, people play 14 plus in teams. See, that's an interesting thing. Is if like the game could theoretically, we could have like larger games with more players, but that would also kind of change the constraints a little bit. Like right now, the game is operating under the premise that you can play an entire game on one screen. So if you're playing like an 8-player game, like it needs to work all 8 players like playing on a big TV screen or something, which means like it kind of limits the size of your maps a little bit. But I've always felt it's a good trade-off because it's fun to play that way when possible. Get 6 or 8 players together with controllers and play on a couch. Like that's a lot of fun. It would be interesting to like let go of that constraint though, and have something where it's more just like big wide open maps and a single player at a time on a device or something. That I feel like that would almost need to be like a different game though. I mean, it could be like a spin-off project using the same engine, but like just called something different, or at least kind of separated out just so that play style fits. Like you would know in that case you can't play with 8 players on a TV. More info about squads mode. I mean, squads mode, it's basically just kind of like prearranged teams. So it's not going to be tied to any particular team size, I don't think. It'll be interesting to see what people do, but it'll just probably be like you decide, okay, I want to play like 4v4s, and either get poke a play button or whatever, and either get matched up in a random team of 4 people, or you can invite a few people to your squad and then like play as a team, or 2v2s, or I don't like, there shouldn't be any constraints there. Like there should be different options. You can do like 2v2 v2 v2 for. I know some people are always asking, or not always, but that comes up a lot as like multi-team games where it's like 3 different teams of 2 or something. Some people are interested in that kind of stuff. So squads mode, theoretically, I mean, I don't want to have any constraints on what it would support. The whole thing with squads mode is it's just about inviting friends to your squad and playing together as a squad. So, having a button that like puts everybody into a game, as opposed to like, hey, meet me in this particular server, go, go, go. I feel like it's more like the modern way that most games work now with matchmaking and things like that. So just getting that system in place. But in terms of like, the team sizes or what the matchups are, like that's kind of, we'll see where that goes. But I feel like, say we get voice chat in there, say we get match or squads mode where you invite a few friends, you can just automatically talk to them on voice chat and then just take on other teams in ladder matches or whatever, or casual or whatever. Like to me, that's kind of the ultimate goal, is to make it to get to where you can just play like competitive or non-competitive games online with your friends, hopefully not laggy. So if I can get the game to that point, I can die happy. I'll be like, life complete. Now everyone's like, 1.9 is awesome, but then I need to remember like, I'm not there yet. Need to finish 1.8 first. Have you heard of Gaussian? I never I feel like I always say Gaussian. Yes, I have. Yeah, like very interesting tech, and super cool to see. Like basically recreating real world scenes through all these little fuzzy splats everywhere. I'm curious. I'd be curious, like what application that could have for, something like a bomb squad is. I don't know if is that stuff renderable in like game engines in real time. I always wonder like how heavy that is, because traditionally transparent stuff is expensive to draw. So if you're drawing something that is nothing but like transparent stuff, like filling the screen, it makes me wonder if like that's going to need like a PC. But interesting tech, and maybe it'll get to a point, or maybe it's still applicable in some way. Two physics logic changes. Yes. Yeah, we've mentioned there's been definitely a few physics changes mentioned for 1.8. And yeah, as a reminder, I mentioned before, don't let me release 1.8 without those changes. Because we have a nice opportunity with 1.8 because it's going to, slightly unfortunately, it's going to break compatibility. So if you're hosting like a 1.8 server, you're going to have to join it with the 1.8 client because with the asset downloads and things like that, there's simply no way we can support older clients. You'll still be able to join older servers. It'll just be if you want to host a 1.8 server, that's going to require 1.8 clients. But anyway, because of that like compatibility break, like that's also a good opportunity to make other like breaking changes, compatibility breaking changes like physics changes, things like that. So people have mentioned some physics tweaks they'd like, or some controls for like gravity scale and stuff like that. So like I said before, make sure I address the ones that people are interested in before 1.8 final is out. Discord bot for Bomb Squad? Like what would that mean? Like like something that lives in the Discord server and lets you play, or something that lives in Bomb Squad but is, yeah, describe this. Yes, this is Sock. That's exactly what I'm talking about, like opacity or rotation attribute. Probably opacity. But yeah, definitely like rotation. I know rotation controls is always a big one that gets mentioned. Probably opacity. Like y'all just like make a top list. I mean, we can't get a ton of stuff in there, but it's a good opportunity to get at least like the top 5 things people want or something. So many screamy faces. But yeah, we should have at least like a requests week or something like that, where yeah, like the whole purpose of that is just get these like physics tweaks people want in there. Radio splatting. Yeah, this stuff is very interesting. Like I'd love to play with all this. Yeah, just like reality capture, like the AI stuff, being able to yeah, just build 3D models from reality for you. Like it's exciting where it's all going. It'd be fun to embrace in some way. Would you like to see a vanilla game mode I'd worked on? Sure. Yeah, I always love seeing stuff folks worked on. So if you want to show a demo or whatever, I'm all for it. Just just holler whenever you'd like to show. Depending on that, request week, I'm thinking request week will probably be at the end, because right now I've not broken any compatibility yet, and requests will the request week needs to be after I've already broken compatibility. So right now I'm still able to submit updates, and everyone can still join them, and they still behave the same as every other 1.7 release. So once I start putting stuff in there that breaks backward compatibility, that'll be really close to 1.8 final. And around that time is when we should add these new features. I just don't want to add stuff now and accidentally break, the game for all the older players or anything like that. New map to make Bomb Squad bigger. Well, that kind of goes back into what I was saying, where the game is designed to be fully viewable on a single screen. So like really big maps, don't know if it's a good idea. Or like we'd want to spin off a different game for that or something, something where it's a single player per time on a screen, and so then it would like stay zoomed in on your character as you wander around, as opposed to like showing the entire map. Oh, okay, so something in Discord that would like control the game and stuff. Interesting. That would be, once squads mode starts getting off the ground, that would be really interesting to integrate with that. I do want to make squads mode as kind of open as possible, to where you can like use Discord to join people's games, or whatever else is makes it easiest to get squads together. Like I'd love to support that. Or even like custom URL stuff where you give people a link to your join your squad or something. Like that would all be great. Is Pascal inspired by Linux, Penguin toy from Toy Story, or Club Penguin? I am trying to remember. I don't think he was inspired. Maybe maybe slight inspiration from like all of those, but it wasn't like a particular thing. It just seemed like having a penguin is, that's a good thing. But yeah, probably, I mean, I would say, yeah. I mean, I have Pixar connections, as you know, and I love Linux, so I would say, yeah, maybe both of those. I considered adding more complex AI bosses or enemies. Yeah, that would be a fun thing to do. It's mostly... yeah, that would just mostly be like a side quest I'd love to go down, but yeah, I'm preventing myself right now. The main limitation with the AI right now is that it's basically coded in 2D if you look at it. So it doesn't really know how to handle 3D terrain or anything like that. That would be really interesting to try to tackle that problem. But I almost feel like with as crazy wonky physics as Bomb Squad has, you'd almost have to like train an AI with, like, that would be interesting to like try to train one with machine learning or something. So I don't know, that'd be a fun rabbit hole to go down. But also then another thing that comes up too is that making the game all minigame based is, it's decently easy to make an AI that works in one particular situation, like deathmatch on a flat map. But making an AI that knows how to play, like capture the flag on Happy Thoughts, like that would be a completely different challenge. And so it would be impossible to make an AI that could do everything. And if you made an AI that could do all the existing stuff, which would be a lot of work, then it means like you can't add new stuff because then your AI doesn't know how to do that. So it's like, it'd be really hard to make an AI that fit in everywhere. But yeah, there'd still be a place for an AI that's like better at particular type of games or was really good at one particular mini game or something. So I don't know. It would still be a fun side quest. Is Bunny's voice line just cronked but stretched up? Maybe. I didn't realize I did that just as kind of like an Easter egg, and then I totally forgot about epic mode. So people got the bunny and then played epic mode where it slows voices way down, and then suddenly it just sounds like Kronk. So I was like, whoops. So it's like an Easter egg that's not especially hidden. Oh yeah, check this out. Ah, things are moving too fast. Okay, let's do this. Whoa. Oh, start that over. Some crazy zany stuff Sock's working on. The thing I love is a little bit of trivia is this is old school, like original pre 1.0 version of Spaz running around. Sock like modified and updated him, so it's very nostalgic for me seeing like that super old version of Spaz there. That was back the old version of the game. I didn't have like animated eyes and whatnot, so he doesn't blink, he just stares. So yeah, super cool stuff. What is this? People are still getting the Taobao mascot. Oh my goodness. More ragdoll physics. I agree with that statement. Trailer 2 for Bomb. You mean trailer for Bomb Squad 2.0 or trailer 2? I feel like, well, yeah, I guess there was only just like one main trailer that I made. There was like different variations of it. But yeah, I suppose I should make a new trailer for like 2.0 or something. What coffee brand do you use to make coffee? So I am not a coffee connoisseur at all. I love coffee. I love working with coffee. It's just like my little comfort blanket. I usually just do like instant coffee though. I know that makes me like not cool, but yeah, just like Nescafe instant coffee. It works. But I do actually, what I love about living in the city is I just wander around to coffee shops also. So I do have like a nice variety of coffee there. If you're ever in San Francisco, Phil's Coffee, oh, it's my favorite. It's like a Bay Area thing. Can I help with video editing? So that'd be an interesting thing once it gets close to 2.0. Yeah, if y'all want to like, yeah, like I feel like I'm not gonna have a ton of time to spend on like trailers or something. So it's almost just like if y'all want to make little like fan trailers, I will advertise them. I mean, I probably could put like a one proper trailer together or something, but yeah, we'll see when it gets there. In general, though, I mean, I love like that's one thing I love about the game is just having like the community and all you folks making cool stuff. Like I enjoy just like pointing at things you guys do. At IP ban. So as part of what I'm working on in this current side quest, like the new server list, it's going to involve a few pieces. One of them is kind of like verified connections. So anytime someone joins your server, they will be verified by the master server, and you should be able to like screen them. Like your server should have an option. Like here's this player, here's their IP address, here's the account, which is 100% verified, the V2 account that they are using, and then your server can either accept or deny them or whatever. So right now it's a little bit of a free-for-all. There's some stuff where you can somewhat detect who's connecting. I think it's decently reliable, but you can't they still connect to the game before you can see who they are and kick them or whatever. So there's still like problems there. But I'm thinking the new server list should be more foolproof. I know these sort of things are things I've been hearing. Yeah, like being able to ban people by IP or by account or whatever, prevent them from like getting in the game at all. So yeah. So yeah, hopefully new server list won't be too much more time. That's basically my highest priority thing outside of all this kind of like polishing work I've been doing the last week, which I think should be just about done. I just pushed a new build to Google Play right before I started streaming. Let me see if... Oh, cool. It is live. Okay. As of, 10:26 a.m. build is live. Yay. Let me check on something. So what I do when builds are live, I have my janky old V1 logging system dashboard, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yep, it's live. I'm seeing all these little like error reports come in, or not error reports, but like 187 people have Google Play building unavailable. 157 cyclic GC collection. This is the thing I'm working on right now, is basically going through and trying to eliminate these like garbage collection cycles. Explicit GC, bummer. I'm trying to get rid of these, so seeing them pop up is still bad. So I have a little bit more work to do. So this means like the Python is freeing up all these particular objects in the background. And to do it, it takes it 0.07 seconds, which is not much, but if you think about that in frame time, that's almost 1/10 of a second, which if you're doing 60 frames per second, that's like 6 frames. So if it was just doing that normally, that means like the game would have just skipped like 5 or 6 frames, which is not good. So that's why we want to get rid of like this garbage collection stuff as much as possible. So anyway, okay, cool. This gives me something to look into after coffee is done. But yeah, and then a bunch of unknown errors, some cyclic GC errors. So yeah, see lots of, it's a never-ending battle against errors. But there's a lot of devices out there, so I try not to like get demoralized if there's lots of errors showing up. I just like fix as many as I can. Oh, you got a server up and running? Okay. Is it something we can join, or does it require, particular assets or something? Cool. All right, let's join it in just a moment. I'll answer a few more questions. Bomb Squad isn't... Well, Bomb Squad is like... I don't know how you classify it. It's like most of it is open source, and most of it is, MIT licensed. The parts that aren't are just like the accounts part and this master server communication part. There's details on that if you go to the GitHub. And then also assets are technically not, open source, or it's not. So basically, yeah, you can steal or not steal. You can use most of the source code from the game, but things like assets and whatnot is not like freely redistributable. So you'd need to talk to me for that. But yeah, most of the stuff, go to like source ballistica, blah blah blah. Anything here. Should see, yeah, release under MIT license, see license for details. Whoa, what the heck happened there? That's pretty. So license just says, there's a few external libraries, and the plus part are covered by, different things, but most of it's MIT. So anyway, I don't know if there is like a legal definition of open source, if it has to be like 100% open source to be considered open source, but it's largely open, largely source available, and you can split it off and make your own stuff with it if you want. How do you make the game Bomb Squad without GameMaker or Unity with vanilla? Just very slowly. It's I started writing the game in like 2004, way back in the day. Unity wasn't really available yet, and Unreal was still like for big studios, so it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars or something. So it was kind of the only option. Just starting from something simple, like make a little window that can draw a triangle in OpenGL, and then instead of that triangle, draw a model, and then instead of that model, draw a bunch of models, and then add a little physics on top of them, and so at some point it turns into a playable game. So that's kind of where it started. A serious issue for public servers. Who knows? What is this about? Oh, is this the Roman PC? Is that who was doing like the server attacks? Is that like a known thing or suspected or? Okay. Yeah. I'm torn on the idea of like stuff like that. On one hand, like whenever someone finds an exploit in the game, or I'm not checking some memory and launches an attack using that, it's nice because it's an easy way for me to discover those flaws and fix them. It's just a bummer for people that are running old servers. So now it's like, now all those servers are getting constantly shut down or whatever. I wish they wouldn't, but yeah, for my part, I will just keep fixing bugs that show up, or fixing any vulnerabilities and releasing patches. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about that. It's, such is life, right? In general, I feel like I've tried not to like talk about it too much. They always say, like in the U.S., there's always, not always, but school shootings and like tragedies that happen like that. And I know they say like some of the, there's been like a concerted effort, I think, with like the news sometimes to just not mention the person's name that does that stuff, just like, because apparently that causes other people to be like, oh, look, this person's famous, now I'm going to do that. in the back of my mind is something like that, where like if one of these, someone does like launch a hack or whatever, it's just like I'm just gonna fix the hack and not mention it or whatever. So that's why I haven't made too big of a deal about it. Just make the fix exploits, carry on. But yeah, for anyone talking about that issue, the issue is fixed. The only thing is, yeah, if there's servers that are running old versions of the game. I don't know if the attacks are still going or anything like that, but it would just, yeah, new versions should be immune. So, all right, so we're gonna hop in this server. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there, but. Oh, Pixar posters. I do have some, not in this room though. I should stream from the office sometime. I got a few Pixar posters and memorabilia up there, so. Jeez. All right, where was that back there? We do. Mod guy, is your mod up? Your mom sniper. Okay. I always forget. Like I'm always responding to people, and then it's like, oh, what was that? What was that person's name? Server is tag name. Okay, let's see. Actually, let me build a new build real quick. I always like to test with the build that I'm currently working on, just in case I broke something. Make back rel. All right, give me a moment. Okay, tag game you said? All right, let's wait for the ping to come back here. Oh, cool. Okay, so what is this tag game? Hey, dudes. Also, on a side note, for any of you Android people, one of the fixes this last week should be this menu. Like, if you tap this on screen, you should have the leave game option for your on-screen controlled character. That was a long time bug or complaint, whatever you want to call it. All right. What is this alone business? Oh no. Are the glowy guys dead then? That's just like little angels walking around, like watching. Oh. Wait, did I win? What the heck? Were you all like being nice to me? Don't let them live. Oh, okay. You gotta kill the purple guy. It fell. Getting tagged. Oh, I'm just a little angel dude. I wasn't paying attention. I just like walked straight off the edge at the beginning. That's interesting. Taggers, runners. Very constrained map though for this, but I guess it works. Oh, that's cool. How's this one work? Hello. It's kind of an interesting dynamic, like a lighting-based thing. I feel like that's not usually a factor in Bomb Squad games. Like not being able to see stuff. It's kind of neat. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Plead. I survived? What? I swear you're all just like going easy on me. The crown. Oh, there it is. Okay. Aha! Protect my royalty. Oh, I've lost my crown. So sad. Oh no! I fell. Oh, apparently that's okay. Poor guy. What the heck? I'm a bomb. What do I do as a bomb? I'm very confused. Oh. Don't explode. Okay. Oh no! Okay, that's kind of fun. I just realized I totally forgot to grab my controller. I've been playing on keyboard. Which is fine. Ah! Run away! Dang, popular game. Is that like a known spot to get stuck in? I don't get stuck there. How do I? Oh, interesting. Wonder what? I'd be curious to look at the triangles there. See like what causes that. Haha! I've done it. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, it's kind of fun being a ghost. It's nice to have something to do. Oh, geez. This is scary again. I am dead. I can save no one. I'm so sorry. Oh, so bright. Don't. Oops. Ah. Oh. Yeah, it'd be fun to switch it up for the last little bit. That was fun. I'm curious. I had someone report recently like, the game using a lot of CPU. 50%. That's, huh. I feel like that's more than I would expect. Yeah. Okay. Oh, maybe that's just because it was large. Weird. %. Okay, I guess maybe that's reasonable. Yeah, if the game is like sitting idle on a menu and it's okay, yeah, 25%. That looks more right. If you ever run into the game using just like 100% CPU the whole time or something though, like let me know. Oh, okay, we joining a party. Anyway, yeah, those were some interesting variety of games. Yeah. I almost feel like this one has to be epic mode to like not be like out of control. Stop that bunny! Oh my gosh. Like I said, I feel like if that were maybe like fewer players on an epic mode, it could be more strategic feeling. Whoa! Let's go ahead and run off the edge. Oh. Oops. Oh yeah. Oh, Mr. Loop. For glory!
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Angry video game mode. Whoa! Oops. Yeah, I feel like the team colors are a little close. In my opinion. It's like brown and reddish. It's kind of like the same part of the spectrum. Two goals, what? Oh, okay. Oh, JRMP port. Okay, well, why don't we plan on doing that first thing next time, if that works for you guys, if you don't mind waiting. I mean, we could technically do it now. It's just I try to keep this close to 2 hours, and so we're just about out of time. Ah! I'm assuming this is Europe. Is it not? Just because I feel like I usually have mid 100 ping to Europe. This is close. Ah. Chocolate wins. Ooh. Whoops. I would love to add dancing. That's my hope in some point, like some sort of celebrations or something. I just don't know how we trigger it. Like that's a good question. Like we need a button combo to trigger like emotes or dancing or something. I guess that could do it. Wiggle left and right. Yeah, I'd probably vote next time for the JRMP if y'all are cool with that. Oops. Ah. Well, if you're ready to go, I guess we could do today once we finish this up. I just want to like screen share, or how anyone can try it, or yeah, how will this work? For something like that, I mean, I assume we need a non-vanilla build. Oh, sorry, teammate. Dang. Galactic body slam there. Come on, Team Chocolate, we're better than this. Actually, I don't know if we are. Oh my gosh, I'm alive. Goodbye, cruel world.
Hello.
Hello?
Oh my gosh, I can't share my screen. No.
Okay, well let me finish. Well, shoot. Maybe I'll just bow out of this one. I usually like to stick till the end of the game, but
Yeah.
okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop streaming if you want to share your screen.
I have rights now. I am free like an Eric. Okay. Okay. Let me just make sure everything works.
Okay, I'm seeing. Okay.
For y'all. Okay. Does it show up? Does it show up?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Joyride Modpad. Nice.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so we have the basic. We have most of the characters, the menus. Okay. Like I said, hold on. We have the menus, we have most of the maps completed. So we have all the characters, they all work. We have all the power, we have most of the power-ups. We do need to implement hot bolt.
Super cool. So what version did the original JRMP run on? That was like 1.4 or? Do you know?
We're going for more like gameplay accuracy instead of just completely code by code.
Okay.
Dizzy Cake is complete.
Nice.
I suppose Dizzy Cake is broken. Yeah. We have, like I said, we have most of the power-ups done.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, it's awesome, like keeping
If you have
this
anything
older
else,
stuff alive.
yeah.
So thank you.
I'm not the greatest at this. I just. Gummy, do you know if you have like a playlist code or show? Oh yeah, show 'em dash. Okay, I forgot. I'm dumb. Yeah, we have dash implemented. Oh yeah, we also, like I said, we have most. Sorry if I completely. Sorry if I completely suck.
Super cool.
It doesn't really matter for this presentation. Also, I'm pretty sure JRMP had like Oh yeah, we also even have the man. Okay, I can show you this if I can get it. Yeah, we also have the magnet implemented. Oh. Yep. Although we do need to implement punch stamina also.
Very cool. So
We
has
do
it?
have all the maps, but I don't know if I can access them.
Oh shoot.
I need the.
Is
I will.
is it possible to pull this forward into like 1743 or 42 by chance? It looks like it's 1736. Okay, at some point, like all that stuff
Yeah,
became
it's like all
free,
that-
so you might, if that would be
Yeah,
helpful.
yeah, we're gonna port that eventually. We're gonna do that.
Okay, that should be, I mean, a lot easier than what you've already done, I think.
It's a lot easier now since we got most of it ported.
Mhm.
It's a lot easier to port it now since it's much more similar than what. Because I'm gonna crash. Okay, but because before we was because we're basically porting right now to like 4 versions later of the code of the API. But now that we have like a much more similar version, it's a lot easier
Yeah.
because we can just go from one version to a next instead of just going 4 versions later.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. 1737 to 1744 should be pretty minor, I think. Super cool though.
Let me turn down this game. It is way too loud. There we go, so I can actually speak up.
Oh yeah, I always have the same problem.
I'll make sure to host. Definitely host next time.
Cool.
Are people? Yeah, there's a public build. Yes, there's a public build, Gummy. You dummy. Yeah, we have like I said, we have.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, let's just showcase it a little bit more, I suppose. We do need to disable tournaments. Oh yeah. Bucket of glue. Oh yeah, hold on. I should. If this is working correctly. Yeah, it works. Okay. If it's working correctly, it should kind of make the glue molten, which I'm pretty sure it is.
Cool.
So basically, everything aside from hot volt works now. Like at least the power ups. I'm pretty sure we got all the maps, if not most of them, though. Fun, at least. But we do need to, at the very least, I can access them. Like I said, I was not prepared to be asked to come on here.
That's quite all right. Yeah, it's cool to see the stuff.
Next time I'll be a lot more prepared, hopefully.
But yeah, really,
And
really
everyone
cool.
can, I'll make sure there's like an Android port, at least for that version.
Yeah, let me know if
mostly
there's
to PC
anything, if you need any help with that. I mean,
Yeah,
you should
go
just
on.
be able to drop the assets in, I think, to an existing Android APK or whatever. But yeah, it's great to like keep this older stuff alive. Yeah, I do feel a little guilty
Yeah.
when I change the API and break older mods. So it's great to see them updated like this. That's great. I guess some of this wasn't my
I guess,
fault
like, now-
necessarily. It was like Python changes and stuff too.
I
so-
think yeah. Well, stuff like BA port should be able to make that process at least a little bit easier.
Cool.
Although that's more meant for like single mods instead of like whole mod packs.
Yeah.
It's like a case where it's like you can use that as a base and still like get a lot further into it than you could otherwise.
Yeah.
I suppose that's all I gotta share today.
So cool. Well, awesome stuff. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Good to see the progress. Yeah, keep us posted on how finishing it up is coming along, or if you get it on 1744, or if there's anything
Yeah.
I can fix on my end or anything like that.
Yeah,
So,
Gummy's been working on it a lot more.
so cool.
I do want to make sure that there's like some other people working on it, so we at least have some like support if like anything goes wrong.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Eric, and I will leave the stage of
All right.
the
Sounds
speakers.
good.
I don't know.
Thank you for showing.
Thank you.
Coffee with Ashton. Yes. Cool. So I guess that's about it for today. Thanks for folks playing. It was a fun little, interesting variety of games. That the first ones were that was cool. It was just a lot of new stuff, all the tag varieties and all that. Um, so anyway, now lastly, let's see. What have we been talking about today? We need a name for the YouTube for this week. What do we call it? What have we been mentioning? Throw words out. Cool. Now, it has to be something we mentioned here in the Eric Eats Paint. Well, no, we don't want people to know about that. Finds nice things on Bomb Squad. Okay, I'll just have to think about it. Anyway, been fun, everybody. Yeah, we'll have next episode in a few weeks. Same old schedule. I don't have any trips or anything coming up. Hopefully one of these times I'll have more exciting stuff to show. I know there's been a lot of technical things this week. You know, showing garbage collection routines is not the most exciting, but thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully I can get closer to an actual 1.8 release too, if I can get some of these side quests finished. Maybe I'll have something to show for at least the new server list next week. I know that's kind of a in-demand thing for various reasons. So, sure, yeah, Sock, I'll hop on there. So, all right, well, been fun, everybody, and I will see all of you folks next time. So, peace out.